We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me. I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second.
Have you?
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break, and we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed.
Well, this was a joy to watch. ESPN's Monica McNutt took it to Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp on First Take. Take a look.
And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say and Stephen A., I know you just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations.
McNutt then tries explaining it further.
Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie.
Let's pause here because I have to be very, very clear of what's ahead in the next clip. Stephen A. Smith would do the unthinkable in a very holier-than-thou approach. He would mandate that respect be given to him because he has discussed the WNBA in the past previously.
All right. Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Let's stop here for a moment and be very, very clear of what Stephen A. was trying to do because it was asinine. There are podcasts that have been around, like WNBA Nation, for years. And all they do is talk about the W. Ditto with the podcast, Her Hoop Stats. Coach Jackie on TikTok does nothing but W talk. She's a must follow. Logan Olivia only covers women's sports. So for Smith to say that he is beyond reproach because he has covered the WNBA in the past is flat out preposterous. There are live streams on various social media platforms. There are spaces on Twitter. There are YouTube lives. There are TikTok lives after each and every game. And this man essentially saying that because he may have done it a few times in the past, no one talks about it more than him. If there are shows devoted to women's sports as much as First Take is devoted to the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, I don't know what to tell you. Fortunately for all of us, Monica McNutt had the time today, and she would once again put Stephen A. in his place.
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we got to go to you guys.
So did you say
you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen
us?
I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
All right, let's,
You're my guy, but I'm talking to you.
Guys, I really appreciate
you're my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen A., 3 years ago, you would not talk about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody was, Monica.
Guys,
you making Stephen A's point, Monica. Monica, you making Stephen A's point.
Please let me do my job. Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes straight. It was a riveting discussion. I have to get into commercial break.
There is so much to cover here. Let's start with media critic Richard Deitch, who wrote Jimmy Pitaro and Magnus should honestly give Monica McNutt a raise. This takes some gumption. The idea that First Take has been a sports media leader in women's sports talk is absurd on face. By the way, this is the guy, I'll say that. That said, I 100% appreciate that the show has amped up women's sports talk from years past. I need to be very clear. Richard Deitch has been around for decades, covering the media industry. If anybody's opinion is printed, typed, posted, that you should respect when it comes to someone saying a falsehood and a critic ripping them for it, it's him. It is Richard Deitch. He's been watching ESPN and Fox Sports and CBS Sports and the biggest names like Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless and Bob Lee and Stuart Scott and Stephen A. Smith for decades. And if he's telling you that they're not doing it, I don't know what to tell you. Fellow media critic Jimmy Trana put in his column for Sports Illustrated, it's one thing for Monica McNutt to disagree with Stephen A. Smith, but after he challenged her, she doubled down and did not back down. It was impressive. Sadly, moderator Molly Qerim cut off the discussion, which could have been riveting television of McNutt and Smith, continuing to argue over First Take's coverage of the W. Trana would add, I don't want to paint the media with one brush, but as someone who covers this stuff, I'd say 99% of sports media, including Smith's First Take, did not cover the WNBA the way they're covering it now. And even now, they're not covering the WNBA, they're covering Caitlin Clark. That is a very important distinction because much like Stephen A. and First Take's pyramid of success, yes, it is the flavor of the day that they cover or lead with, the flavor of the week, but also it's the pyramid of success where you have the mainstays, as I said previously, the Cowboys, the Lakers, LeBron, Steph, the Warriors, and now Caitlin Clark is up there. And as Stephen A. even said in years past, or excuse me, was it about a year or two ago on Dan Le Batard's show, he basically said, we didn't create debate. We basically just knew how to exploit it for money. That's what he said. I covered it. Check it out on demand. Stephen A. Smith, Dan Le Batard. He actually thought that he was making a solid point when he exposed himself completely. Yeah, this format was here. We just knew how to do it better. It's cheap. And now it's not going to be about the W. All right? It's not going to be about the Mercury. Okay? It's not going to be about the Wings. It's going to be about Caitlin Clark. That's what it's going to come down to. When's the last time they talked about Kelsey Plum? Vegas. I don't know, because all I see is Caitlin Clark. That's all I see. And from SB Nation's James Detour, there's a lot of truth to what McNutt is saying. Just because Stephen A. might talk more about women's sports than his compatriots doesn't mean that 1% of airtime prior to Caitlin Clark's arrival makes him a champ. There's definitely a little revisionist history going on, which is why it left Smith looking like this, which was befuddled. Stat Matt type, Monica McNutt is about to be the first black woman to get Max Kellerman off First Take. Respect. Well done. And lastly, via Jamil David, like many devoted WNBA fans, McNutt is obviously annoyed by the lack of subtlety in the conversation surrounding the league at the moment and was prepared to do what few do on Smith's show. Call him out live. The conversation around the W and Clark has several layers and is pretty nuanced. Nuance and layers are not something Stephen A. or Sharp are interested in covering, if we're being honest. Overall, McNutt stood on business and is completely right. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.